Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about the new Brutal Quest or the Ahlim Shard Brutal Quest and how to do it hopefully with the units that you have. This quest is not much complicated compared to the other quests that we did, but I will break it down so that it will be easier to tackle, hopefully for those who may or still struggling with this challenge. So what do you need to know about this challenge quest? One is that the map is quite small with very agile and mobile units. This means they can encircle and flank you easily. Also, the enemy units have good damage since they have def and SPR piercing, but the good part is that they don't have status ailments. They are also quite tanky, having high def and high SPR, but the good thing is they don't have elemental resistances, but what they do have is high slash resistance and high missile resistance. This actually means that slash attack units will have a harder time tackling this map, and missile units as well. This also means that we have two strategies available for the solo runner. One is to out DPS them and the other is to out defend them. I will be focusing on the latter, which means out defend, than the former, because it's the most uncommon among the two, and also I do not have the required units to out DPS the enemy units on this map, which obviously is Sakura and Ahlim. Let's break the challenge down. There are two waves to this challenge. In the first wave, there are 3 enemy groups, one in the middle, one on the left or the bottom, and one on the right or the top units. So first we're gonna talk about the middle units, the 2 water paladins and 1 dark magician. So in terms of the water paladins, they have 75 SPR, 60 def, and 72 agi. At first glance, you might think that well, he has higher SPR and lower def, so technically a def piercing unit would be better, or a slash def piercing unit would be better, but we tend to forget that these units has 50% slash resistance and 25% missile resistance. This essentially makes the slash damage mitigation to 110% if you don't have a def piercing or slash resistance piercing. So this enemy unit has, I think, low magic resistance, so you just have to have a magic unit that has SPR piercing. So for those people who say magic units are not good here because it has a higher SPR, no. Remember, this challenge is made for Ahlim and Sakura. The only thing you need here for a magic unit is a good SPR piercing magic unit, while for a slash attack unit you need slash attack piercing, slash attack resistance piercing, and def piercing. So yeah, to me, a magic attack unit is better than a slash attack unit for this map. And the paladins here also have courage. So Sakura is really the person to have in order to beat these paladins down and remove the courage. They have 72 agi, which means these paladins are fairly fast. So yeah, those are the paladins. And the second one is we have a dark magic user with 76 agi, really fast, 20 def, 50 SPR. So at first glance, again, you might think a def piercing unit is better than magic, but when you look at the resistances, It has 50% slash resistance, 15% missile resistance, 10% mag res, and negative 10% pierce resistance. So in total, you would have 70% slash damage mitigation, but in 70% slash damage mitigation, but you will have 60% magic resistance mitigation. So mag is still better than slash, but in reality, pierce is the best for this challenge. So that's for the middle lane. Let's talk about the bottom or the left flank. We have 3 ninjas, 2 water and 1 light. They have 30 def, 50 SPR, and 75 agi. I think they have 5 move and then 4 jump, I think. So they're really fast and quite tanky. At first glance, again, you might think 50 SPR magic units are not good, but when you look at the resistances, they have 65% slash resistance, 30% missile resistance, and negative 10% pierce resistance. They're neutral to magic and neutral to punch. So magic will still be good here as long as you have SPR piercing. In terms of these units' offensive capabilities, they have def, pierce rate up, and accuracy up. So they really pack a punch. And if you have slow units, they can get 2 turns and chain slash you. So yeah, they're pretty strong. Let's move on to the right flank or the top part, where you have I think the top part has 2 dark rangers and then 1 water ninja. The 2 dark rangers have 35 def and 50 SPR, 73 agi. At first glance, magic users again. But if you look at the resistances, 40% slash resistance, 15% missile resistance, and negative 10% magic resistance. So this means they have 75% slash damage mitigation, but they have 40% magic damage mitigation. So yeah, magic is still viable here, as well as pierce. And these guys have 73 agi, so they're as fast as I think those paladins, still fast. And lastly, we have the water ninja with 30 def and 50 SPR, same as the ninjas below. So yeah, I don't think I need to explain more about him. So generally speaking, this map has 6 slash attackers, so 4 water ninjas and 2 water paladins. 2 water ninjas, 1 light ninja, and so there 6 slash attackers in total, and 2 missile attackers and 1 magic attacker for the first wave. The second wave consists of Rolela, which is a missile attacker, and Skahal, which is a magic attacker. So what this says to me is you have to defend. If we're going to do the defense strategy, as I mentioned earlier, you have to defend against 3 attack types. That's slash primarily, missile secondary, and third magic. So those 3. So you have to build your team around defending those attack types, and of course, if having a pierce or magic units. So that's what I'll be discussing. So for the team composition, you have 2 front row units and 3 back row units. So the 2 front row units, for obvious reasons, are going to be tanks. So the number 1 tank to have in this map is Whisper. Why? because Whisper is a resistance tank, and these enemy units are defense piercing focused units. They don't have resistance piercing, so having a resistance based tanks makes them more reliable damage, have more reliable damage mitigation. Remember, Whisper can reach 100% slash resistance and around, I guess, 70 to 80 missile res, and has overall good mag resistance, and she has a very cheap taunting spell and around middling agility, like 53. So with the right equipment, which I don't have, so my Whisper is not gonna, I'm not gonna show Whisper at full potential, but she's still great. She can be a very viable tank. The second on the list is Dwayne. Dwayne, although might not have the best resistances for this map, he does have def piercing and pierce attacks, making him a viable defensive tank in this map. Agrius, on the other hand, is not very good at this map just because she's a slash unit and she doesn't have any other attack options. Her resistances are also not paired well with this map, but she does have status ailments, and if you don't have other tanks, she can do okay. Not that great, but okay. She has 53 agi, not that fast, so yeah, generally she's not good to bring, but I have no other tanks to put in the front row besides her. So yeah, she's okay, my books. Wall, on the other hand, is a good tank to bring here. He has good resistances for this map, 25% slash res, and then neutral missile res, 20% mag res, 5% mag res, and he has a dragoon sub, which means he has access to pierce attacks, although he's slower than Dwayne. That's a problem because generally the enemy units are faster compared to him. Engelbert, if you don't have any other tank, seriously, you can still bring him, but generally he's slow. He might have somewhat good resistances for this map, but that -30 is a problem. You might want to pack Fenrir for him in order to beef him up a bit, but he has good slash res, good missile res, abysmal agi. You need to help him in that regard. I mean, he's not gonna help offensively either, since he is a slash type unit, but you can equip him with monk to give him a little bit more damage compared to paladin sub or knight sub. Yeah, you can build him monk, but he doesn't have def piercing, so that's another thing. Ffbe is also good for this map. Overall, she has good resistances with 15% slash res, 15% missile res, 10% mag res, and has good agi, like 58 agi, and she also deals magic attacks and has a very cheap taunting spell. So yeah. Since I've discussed earlier that the defensive strategy here is to build resistances, most of the vision cards for tanks that I'm going to be recommending are resistance type vision cards, like Snow White Guard, which gives 15% slash res and 15% missile res. Very, very good for Whisper. Another is the Iron Giant VC with plus 15% slash res for the party. But then again, he has minus agi, so you might want to equip him with a tank that's a little bit more faster compared to the slower ones. Vow of Love, of course, it's never gonna go away, just to add hate. And for Ffbe, you might want to equip her with the Solidus URVC because it has slash res and magic attack up. For espers, of course, we're gonna focus also on resistance espers like Odin with slash and missile resistance, Siren with plus 25 slash resistance, and Bloody Moon with plus 15 missile resistance. Golem is here, although he's really slow, has def and no resistance. Still a good VC Esper for tank. Anyway, TMR and equipment. For equipment, for armor type equipment, meaning for paladins and such, I would suggest iron armor or golden armor or platinum helm for slash resistance, or you can have like those other helms like mithril helm for missile resistance. For non-armor tanks like Ffbe, you want to equip Fides Lacerna for slash resistance or platinum robe for missile resistance, whichever you want. There's also Ffbe's TMR for extra def. And as for other TMRs, you might want to have TMR accessories that adds Agi, like Venera's TMR or Ayaka's TMR, or you want to equip an accessory with Agi, just like the Hermes shoes that are given through PvP, just to give them an Agi boost. So as you can see here, generally I have equipments that increase slash or missile resistance and accessories that add Agi. So that's how I would attack this. So in terms of the back row units, the 3 units at the back, I would suggest having magic pierce, and lastly you can have slash, but then again you should have specific units with specific cards. So let's go with the first DPS option, which is the magic. Although this is not the strongest, pierce is, in my opinion, but magic is also good. We have here Howlett with Rune Knight and Red Mage. Howlett has 2 SPR piercing skills. One is in his master ability and one is on his ability board, making him a good unit for this map for the double SPR abilities. So you put him on Regmade sub because most Rune Knight abilities are slash based, although the attack value is based on magic. The attack type is slash. So you want to put him on Red Mage so that he has access to magic attack abilities, so that he won't be neutered by the high slash resistance that the enemy unit has. So Raryu, in the same token as Howlett, he has less SPR piercing but has slash resistance piercing. But with such high slash resistance, I wouldn't really recommend that you bring him unless you have no other choice and you have cards like Agayon or Exorcist. But in my case, since I have no other choice, I bring him as a Rune Knight and a Black Mage so that he has access to non-slash skills. Third, we have Skahal. Skahal is a lightning magic unit, so he has the elemental advantage against almost all of the enemy units. And he also is quite tanky, similar to Ffbe, just because he has staff mage abilities. He's pretty good. I'm just so sad I slept on him. So next we have is Sakura. So Sakura is a Sage of Mysidia and Kotodama Mage. She's the best unit for this map because she has huge area of attack skills. She has lightning damage and light damage, the two most favorable elemental damage you might want to have in this map. She has SPR piercing and she removes courage. So yeah, obviously this map is built for her, or this challenge is built to use her. Lastly, on the back row, we have Ffbe, who can, if you have no other choice or have no other DPS to bring, you might want her because she's a staff mage spell blade. She's quite tanky with high slash res and missile res, but deals support magic damage. Not really like good damage as Raryu and Howlette would. She's more of like a support DPS role. So you might want to still bring like your main DPS. For cards, we have Trousseau, Ramu VC, Blossoms in the Night, and the Lila card. They all have some sort of magic attack up in them. Although the Lila card has minus def, so be aware of that, because as I've said, these enemy units pack a punch. So you might be wary in using the Lila card because it might lessen your unit survivability. And the Halloween Blossoms for Man Eater and Mag Up. As for Espers, we have Diabolos, Ramu, Siren, and Shiva. Diabolos has high magic stats and slash resistance, which is good for the survivability of your units. Ramu is probably the best here with Water Eater. Only if you have resonance with him. Most of my units do not have resonance with Ramu. That's why I did not bring him. You need the resonance from the Esper so that your speed won't suffer so much. So we have Siren, which has magic stats, good slash res, and good speed. So she's also a good option to bring. Shiva might be the least favorite among the group, but again, she has good speed and good magic, so it's okay to bring her. For TMR and equipment, you have Soul of Thamasa, bells, because if you're gonna go magic, there's a lot of units here and it's gonna eat up your AP. That's why I suggest to ring bells on your DPS still, even though they start off with high AP. You got Hermes shoes and you have Fides Lacerna and the Platinum robe for defense. You also might wanna bring Mediena's TMR to increase your AP or your acquired AP. For our second DPS option would be Pierce. We're talking about Dragoons and Lancers. For Dragoons, we have Victora, Kane, and Ahlim. And then for Lancers, we have Elde, Eileen, and then we have Glaciella for Valkyrie. The good thing about this, the enemy units not having elemental resistance, you can bring any elemental unit that has that attack type which they are weak to. But then again, you have to take note what type of element the enemy units are. For example, if you have Elde as your Pierce attacker, he might have a bit of a problem because he's weak to water. But if you can mitigate that with, let's say, lightning element Esper, you will have no problem because the enemy units don't have ether abilities, so he can survive somehow. The top Pierce DPSs here would be, of course, Ahlim. She has the elemental advantage, Def Pierce, and Pierce attack, followed by Kane, which has the Def Pierce. And then you have Glaciella, who has the slash resistance, pierce, attack, and def piercing. Maybe less than Kane and Ahlim, but she's more tanky. While the rest just has pierce attack, no def piercing, so they might be good as a support DPS. For VCs, of course, we have Titan, Demon Wall, and Snowy Fields. All of them boosts your pierce attack, with Snowy Fields giving agi if you need more agi on your attacker. Like if you have a very slow pierce unit like Ahlim, you might opt for Snowy Fields than the other two. But if you want a damage boost, you might want Titan for its Man Eater. For, let's say, Victora, or any support DPS on that matter. So for espers, we have the usual pierce attack espers, where we have Titan and we also have Ifrit and Siren. Siren is there for the purpose if you want to boost your units slash resistance or your pierce units slash resistance. So yeah. For TMRs, you have Aldoa's Apron for additional def pierce, and AP gain bells as well. As for non-armor type units like Glaciella, or no, not Glaciella, maybe, oh, there's no non-armor type units here. You might want armors like the iron armor, the platinum helm, golden armor, the usual stuff that you equip on dragoons to increase their slash resistance. So ideally, you want a combination of your pierce and magic attackers. I'm talking about, you can have Howlette and Kane, Ahlim and Howlette, Raryu and Ahlim, for example, is also a good thing. You want a mixture of both pierce and magic ideally, but of course the favorite here, or who the map intends for you to use, of course, Sakura and Ahlim, a combination of the two. But if you're really intent of using slash, it's because your roster might be all slash units, like you don't have anything else. Here is a list of slash units that you have to have. First, you have to have Gilgamesh, because you have to soften up those enemy units with your Kotetsu, lowering their slash resistance. Second, you have to have a def down unit to soften up those enemies. We're talking about Venera, we're talking about Ruin Knight's Turn, and Orlando. And of course, third, you have to have a def pierce unit that includes Ruin Knight's Turn or Dwayne. But Dwayne has access to pierce attack, making him doubly useful for this challenge quest. As for vision cards, you must have Exorcist for me, because your damage is gonna be crap in my opinion if you don't have slash resistance piercing. This card gives you def pierce as well, so it's very, very, very useful for anyone who wants to run a slash team in this challenge. As for Agayon, you can also use Agayon for Orlando or Venera to increase their slash res, piercing, and slash attack. You may also equip this to Gilgamesh if you want, but then again, you must have Gilgamesh, Ruin Knight's Turn. Although I think some teams might survive not having Guild, but yeah, there's a lot of softening up that needs to be done in order for a completely slash team to chew these enemies properly. So for espers, for slash teams, I would suggest Tetrasil Feed, because Venera and Ruin Knight Stern are both evade type units, so additional evade might be nice. The usual Odin is there with Man Eater and slash attack, two-headed dragon just to give you that damage boost. You might want to put this on Venera because generally this Esper is slow. And if you don't have any of these, Behemoth might be a good choice also, just because it increases slash attack. Agayon as well is a good option just because it has Water Eater and slash attack up. Not to mention it has Magres and I think slash rest. Maybe it was slash rest, I forgot, but yeah, he has good resistances for this map on his board. Lastly, we should have at least one support on our team, and that the following are the good supports: Ildira, Halloween Lila, Grace, Salire, and Ayaka. So arithmeticians are always good here, just because they can do like massive, like wide area heals and wide area damage. They can support DPS like Sakura or maybe Skahal in that no, I don't think they can. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe they can, like light magic, something along those lines. But yeah, they can do like DPS support for magic units. And Lila also has full life, which is always good, for emergency cases that your AI just becomes stupid. There's also Grace with very good resistances, similar to Whisper. She will do very well in this map. She has heals, full life, and holy, can support DPS, and yeah, full life. Salire, I'm not sure. In theory, she will be good just because she has a elemental advantage in this map. She has lightning magic abilities, heals, and holy, so she might be good, but I don't have her maxed, so I'm not sure, but in theory she is. We have Ayaka, which I would put in white mage, not time mage, because if you're gonna go for a defensive strat, remember these enemies hit hard, so you gotta have like heals every turn. That's why she's a good option, just because she has a myriad of heals similar to Grace, and she's very fast. She's a fast unit just because of her time mage sub, and she casts her skills fast, so you're kind of ensured that your heals come on time. I have no problem with her speed, even if I don't have any Agi card. So even if actually I put Iron Giant VC on her, I wouldn't be concerned, just because she has the right amount of speed for this map. For vision cards for support, I've said time and again, speed is a thing, so the Chocobo card will be good. SHOB, or the Scion House of Beluf card for Agi is also good. If you're running evade like Venera and Stern, you might want to use Shiva. That's just if you're running Venera and Stern. Winter Holidays for arithmeticians is good, although there's just like limited area of attack skills by enemy teams. It's an extra defense boost. It has a mag up, water up, and an extra skill that hits hard for arithmeticians or mace users, right? And you may also want to equip slash resistance cards. Maybe, as I've said, I put it on Ayaka to help your team mitigate the slash resistance. Ideally, I would like to bring an arithmetician, but my problem is my Ildira has low resonance with any other Esper other than Diabolos, but Raryu is using Diabolos, so I have to find another support because she's too slow to deliver those heals. That's why I've said it again and again. What's the word? Speed is of important matter here. As for espers, support units have similar espers to your magic attack units, so I don't think what's the word? I don't think that I need to discuss it anymore. And also for TMR, it's pretty much the same with your mag units, mag DPS units, except I wouldn't put Soul of Tamasa on your support. I'll put it in your mag DPS and also the bells. But generally, they have the same like Platinum Robe and Fides Lacerna. So that's it, guys. As I've said earlier, on a final note, your back row has to have magic and pierce, ideally. And also for your attack, for your front row, you would want a resistance tank, ideally Whisper, but if you don't, Dwayne and Wall or Ffbe is what I would suggest, a combination of those tanks. And as I've said, for slash attacks, if you really want to, there's really a lot of conditions to be met. You have to lower down that slash rest really good and have, you know, pack a death piercing unit. If you're not gonna run death piercing unit and don't have slash rest piercing cards, forget it. So again, here's the demo reel. I don't have a pierce attack unit here, I just have magic, so I might be clearing up these enemies slow. And I did pull Ahlim, but she's not ready yet, so eventually I can showcase her, but right now, nah. So I hope you guys enjoy the demo reel with magic users only. It's gonna take longer than usual, and it will take a toll on Ayaka, but unfortunately I don't have any pierce units built. That's why my team might look like they're having a hard time, but don't worry, they consistently clear it even if it's slow. So enjoy the demo reel.